The story of Israel's exodus from Egypt is one of the most significant narratives in the Bible, primarily found in the book of Exodus, with additional details in Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. It describes the Israelites' dramatic departure from slavery, their journey through the wilderness, and their covenant with God at Mount Sinai. The Israelites leave Egypt in haste, carrying unleavened bread and treasures from the Egyptians. God leads them with a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. Pharaoh changes his mind. Pharaoh regrets letting the Israelites go. He gathers his army and chariots to pursue them. Israelites reach the Red Sea. They panic when they see Pharaoh's army approaching. Moses tells them, "Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance of the Lord." God tells Moses to raise his staff, and the Red Sea parts. The Israelites walk across on dry ground. Pharaoh's army follows them into the sea. The waters crash back, drowning the soldiers. The Israelites rejoice, singing praises to God. Miriam leads the women in a dance of victory. The Israelites begin their journey into the wilderness toward Mount Sinai. Moses leads them forward, trusting in God's guidance. After crossing the Red Sea, the Israelites traveled 3 days without water. They found water at Marah, but it was bitter and undrinkable. The people complained to Moses, and God instructed him to throw a piece of wood into the water. The water became sweet, providing relief. In the wilderness, the Israelites complained about hunger. God sent quail in the evening for meat and manna in the morning, a heavenly bread that appeared like flakes on the ground. They were to gather only what they needed daily, except before the Sabbath, when they collected double. At Rephidim, the Israelites complained of thirst. God commanded Moses to strike a rock with his staff, and water flowed out, providing for the people. The place was named Massah and Meribah, as a reminder of their doubt and testing of God. At Rephidim, the Amalekites attacked Israel. Joshua led the battle, while Moses stood on a hill, raising his staff. When Moses' hands were raised, Israel prevailed, but when he lowered them, Amalek gained ground. Aaron and Hur held up his hands, ensuring victory. At Mount Sinai, God made a covenant with Israel, declaring them his chosen people if they obeyed him. After 3 days of preparation, God spoke the 10 Commandments amid thunder, fire, and a shaking mountain. The terrified Israelites asked Moses to speak to God on their behalf. Moses received God's laws, confirmed the covenant with sacrifices and blood, and then ascended the mountain for 40 days to receive the stone tablets. While Moses was on Mount Sinai, the Israelites made a golden calf and worshipped it. God was angered, but Moses interceded. When he saw their idolatry, he smashed the tablets, destroyed the idol, and had the Levites execute 3,000 people. God sent a plague, but later renewed the covenant. God commanded Moses to build the tabernacle, a portable sanctuary for his presence among the Israelites. When completed, God's glory filled it as a cloud by day and fire by night, guiding Israel on their journey. Moses sent 12 spies to Canaan. 10 spies reported fearfully about giants, while Joshua and Caleb urged faith. The Israelites refused to enter, rebelling against God. As punishment, God sentenced them to 40 years of wandering until that generation died, except for Joshua and Caleb. Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and 250 leaders rebelled against Moses and Aaron. God judged them by making the earth swallow Korah and his followers, while fire consumed the 250 men. When the Israelites blamed Moses, a plague struck, killing 14,700 people until Aaron interceded. This confirmed God's chosen leadership. As the Israelites traveled, they grew impatient and complained against God and Moses. In response, God sent venomous serpents that bit and killed many. The people repented and asked Moses to pray for them. God instructed Moses to make a bronze serpent and lift it on a pole. Anyone who looked at it in faith was healed and saved. At Meribah, the Israelites complained about the lack of water. God commanded Moses to speak to a rock, and water would flow. However, out of frustration, Moses struck the rock twice instead of speaking to it and said, "Must we bring you water?" Zerenia, taking credit for the miracle. Because of this disobedience and lack of trust, God forbade Moses from entering the promised land. Yet he still provided water for the people. After Moses' death, God appointed Joshua to lead Israel. God commanded him to be strong and courageous, promising to be with him as he was with Moses. As the Israelites approached Canaan, God commanded Joshua to have the priests carry the Ark of the Covenant into the Jordan River. When their feet touched the water, the river stopped flowing, allowing Israel to cross on dry ground. After crossing the Jordan River, the Israelites entered Canaan. Their first battle was Jericho, where they marched around the city for 7 days as God commanded. On the seventh day they shouted, and the walls collapsed, leading to victory. This marked the beginning of Israel's conquest of the Promised Land.